Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can catch up this program later in the evening through our YouTube channel, and you can hear us on our audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. Join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo. But in the meantime, before we head into the entirety of the program, let's hear the speech of or media interview rather of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as he oversees the Upland Kontrabaha event in Parañaque City.
Mula sa Presidential Communications Office at Radyo Pilipinas, ito ang Presidential Live Event. Presidential Live Event.
Basura na nagkukumpul-kumpul para hindi na nga makadaan. So, ang una natin kailangan gawin ay linisin lahat ng estero, lahat ng mga spillway, lahat ng ganito upang maging mas malalim yung ating pagdadaanan ng tubig, isang-isa. Pangalawa, para maayos natin at maging mas maganda ang pagtakbo ng tubig para hindi nga maiwan ang lupa na nanggagaling sa taas, yung ibig nagsisiltation. Hindi ito maaaring gawin na minsan lang. Ito ay patuloy nating gagawin, hindi natin titigilan ito. Kasama na ito sa MOOE ng DPWH, maintenance na kailangan nilang gawin every year. Ngayon, itong unang phase, kailangan dahil napakalalim pa, 10 meters pa yung huhukayin on average sa ating ganun kababaw na yung tubig. 10 meters ang kailangan natin hukayin para yung iba 20 meters. I'm sorry, 10 feet. 3 meters pala, sorry. 3 meters, 10 feet upang matiyak natin na maganda ang pagdaloy ng tubig. Ngayon, we will continue to do this first part of the Upland hanggang July of next year, ng mga 9 months ito. Hindi namin titigilan. Ngunit, even after that 9 months, ay patuloy lang, regular na ang paglinis, pag-desiltation, paglinis ng basura, lahat ito ay patuloy natin gagawin. Hindi natin pwedeng tigilan dahil alam naman natin umiipon pa. Ang isa pang nakita nating problema ay ang paglagay ng mga pumping station na mali. Merong mga pumping station, hindi lang meron, marami sa mga pumping station natin mula nang itinayo ay hindi pa gumana kahit minsan. Hindi nag-operate kahit minsan. Bakit? Dahil yung pumping station mismo sa paglagay nila, yun pa ang nakaharang sa tubig. At imbis na magbigay ng solusyon, ito pa ang naging problema, yung mga pumping station na linagay. Kaya marami pa tayong kailangan gawin. Ngunit malaking bahagi na sa solusyon ito na pagtinis ng basura at paghukay ng ating mga paghukay sa desiltation para maging malalim ulit. Itong project na ito, itong Upland na ito, nakita ninyo, nandito kasama natin yung mga ibang Metro Manila Mayor at ang mga iba't ibang Metro Manila leadership upang magsama-sama kasama po ng nandito po buti na lang nandito po si MVP na na sinama natin. Ito kaya lagi natin sinasabi talagang kailangan natin yung private sector dahil sila ang tumutulong at mabilis gumalaw. Kaya nandito si Manny Pangilinan, nandito si Ramon Ang, silang dalawa ay nag-volunteer na sila na ang gagawa sa marami dito sa kailangan na gawin na trabaho. But of course, they have to do this in coordination with our local government executives. At alam naman natin, ang mga local government executives nung nakita nila na may project na ganito ay pumayag naman kaagad dahil siyempre ayaw nila ng baha doon sa kanila. So malaking tulong ang pagsasama ng private sector, ng LGU at saka ng national government. Kaya it will have hindi kaya ng kahit na national government lamang, hindi kaya ng LGU lamang, hindi kaya ng private sector, ng mga negosyante, hindi nila kaya na sila lang. Kailangan magtulungan at ito yung mangyayari. Bibilisan natin, sana naman ay mababawasan ang estimate ng ating mga scientifico ay sabi nila mababawasan ng up to 60% ang pagbaha kung ito ay maging maayos na. Mas mababawasan pa ang baha pag naayos natin ang mga pumping station. Kaya kung titignan nyo yung mapa, nandyan maliwanag kung saan yung mga problem areas, kung saan uunahin. Ngunit ito ay hindi lamang dito sa Maynila. Ito ay kumbaga hindi mo na masasabi yung pilot project kung maalala ninyo. Merong ginawang study ng tawag NOAA. Ang NOAA study was to study the flood control or the flood situation, especially around Metro Manila. Ngunit all over the Philippines na rin. Kaya on the basis of that study and on the basis of the coordination between, again, the LGU, the private sector, we will also bring kontrabaha to Cebu, to Bacolod, to Rojas City, to Bulacan, Pampanga, Cavite, Laguna, Pangasinan, Cotabato, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, and other places na madalas mabaha. So that is what that is what this signifies now. It's the beginning of a very wide-ranging program to at least partially solve the problem of flooding, especially in the urban areas, especially in Metro Manila and the other highly urbanized cities and provinces. Kaya this is going to be a simple solution, but it will take a lot of work, and mabuti na lang ay marami tayong mga willing na tumutulong. Again, from the national government, of course, we are administering it, we are organizing it. But again, we do it together with our LGU executives and with our friends in the private sector who have volunteered their capacity and their equipment. We have discovered that kung makita ninyo yung mga equipment na ito, medyo bago-bago pa. Ang nandiyan yan since when? 2018?
Probably about almost 7 years.
7 years ago, nakatenga lang naman sa warehouse nila ng DPWs at never nagamit. Dahil kailangan daw itago for the big one. Pero ito na yata yung big one when it comes to flooding. Ano pang inaantay natin? Kaya ilabas na natin lahat, gagamitin natin lahat yan. Plus, merong augmentation from, again, the private sector at marami naman silang equipment. And of course, with the approval and the cooperation of our LGUs. So hopefully, we'll just keep doing this. This is not an instant solution. Kung tutusin natin sa pag-aaral ng ating mga eksperto, ang flooding problem hindi maayos dahil meron tayong ginawang isang bagay. We will have to do many things. We have to do the siltation, we have to do the changes in the location of the pumping stations. We have to in the long term, we have to go upstream and look at the watersheds and see what we can do there. Either develop the watersheds or already put impounding. We'll have to impound the water upstream. So this is a long-term solution, and it is something that has been proposed for a very long time, but somehow has never been implemented, and we are doing that now. And so I'm very optimistic that once we get the majority of this done, maramdaman na kaagad natin na pagdating ulit ng tag-ulan next year, malaki na yung mababawasan sa flooding. So, okay? So, maraming salamat.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yung funding ng NOAA, sir. Funding ng NOAA, sir.
For JPE self lang.
Funding ng project NOAA.
Sorry about that technical difficulty. By the way, you just heard the speech of, or the media interview of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as he launched the Oplan Kontra Baha. It's an anti-flooding or flood mitigating measure to stop or prevent flooding in Metro Manila. President Marcos Jr. said that the project aims to clear waterways and dredge waterways to avoid siltation of our waterways, particularly rivers, creeks, and some other forms of waterways. And the government, as President Marcos said, would not stop this project. And that project, Oplan Kontra Baha, will now be included under the MOOE. And the president also said that the Oplan Kontra Baha will start its first phase today until June or July of next year in 2026. And at the same time, the chief executive observed that the pumping stations were installed incorrectly, and he vowed to solve this problem of the pumping stations not working as it should. And at the same time, President Marcos Jr. highlighted the strong cooperation or partnership between public and private sector regarding this project alone. And the government hopes this project will reduce the perennial flooding that is currently happening in Metro Manila. And the project, President Marcos said, will be launched first here in Metro Manila, but it will be launched in areas with significant problem in flooding, particularly in Cebu, in Cagayan, in Davao, and some other urban cities here in the Philippines. And he also said that this Oplan Kontra Baha is a long-term solution, and it hopes the project will succeed. And that's the event of President Marcos Jr. there at the launching of Oplan Kontra Baha in Parañaque City. But in the meantime, Front and Center will be right back after these messages here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Mas pinadali na ang government transactions sa tulong ng eGov.ph Super App. Pwedeng-pwede mo nang magawa ang lahat ng ito. I-download ang eGov app sa iyong smartphone o tablet mula sa App Store o Google Play Store. Pagkatapos, ilagay ang iyong mobile number at i-authenticate gamit ang one-time PIN o OTP para marehistro ang iyong account. Saka ilagay ang iyong mga pangunahing impormasyon at kumpletuhin ang facial recognition technology para sa verifikasyon ng iyong pagkakakilanlan. Para sa mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyong panggobyerno, gamitin na ang eGov.ph Super App.
Magandang araw, si Dingdong Dantes po ito. Dahil taon-taon tayong binibisita ng bagyo, kailangang handa tayong harapin ito. Naalala ko si Mami, meron siyang isang envelope kung saan nakatago ang mga importanteng dokumento para madaling kunin at dalhin kapag may bagyo. Ang misis ko naman, may nakahanda palaging emergency go bag na may lamang damit, gamot, pagkain, tubig at pera na kasya hanggang 3 araw sakaling kailanganin naming pumunta sa evacuation center. At syempre, ang toka ko, bago pa dumating ang bagyo, sinisilip ko na kung may mga butas ba yung bubong o ang ibang parte ng bahay na kailangang i-repair. Nakamonitor din ako sa updates ng pag-asa tungkol sa bagyo. May kanya-kanyang responsibilidad sa bahay para sure na ligtas ang buhay. Dahil #panatag ang may alam.
Maging panatag Pilipinas.
Paliwanag mo sa tao na hindi totoo yan.
Dahil ang totoo,
Yung totoo ang dapat ninyong malaman.
Nagkalat sa internet ang fake news o mali at
Tinatapon niyo yung tao.
what they are doing is creating panic.
We say no.
Yung pagkalat ng fake news. And some of it's dangerous.
Sana iwasan po natin pag-spread ng fake news.
At di magpapakalat ng disinformation at misinformation ang kasulukuyang administrasyon.
Stop telling us fake news because you're wrong.
Para sa totoo at mapagkakatiwalaang mga balita at impormasyon, Radyo Pilipinas.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And while we wait for our guest for today, coming from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, as we're going to talk about the ongoing investigation or full-blown investigation on the Monteraza de Cebu project, as it is being blamed as a major cause of severe flooding that happened in Cebu City as the Typhoon Tino ravaged that region, particularly in Central Visayas. But in the meantime, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has called out local officials for traveling abroad amid onslaught of Super Typhoon Uwan and Typhoon Tino. The chief executive expects local officials to be on the ground and not on vacation when calamity strikes. That's what Malacanang said. Palace Press Officer Attorney Claire Castro said the president does not like officials to chill and just relax when their constituents are in crisis. Undersecretary Castro said the matter is being left to the hands of Department of Interior and Local Government, or DILG, which will determine whether those who left their posts during the twin storms will face investigation. The DILG earlier reminded governors, mayors, and other local officials to stay in their areas of responsibility and personally lead response operations, as Super Typhoon Uwan, one of the year's or this year's strongest typhoons, pummeled Luzon on Sunday. Despite the reminder, reports emerged that some local executives, including mayors and mayors from Cebu rather, and the governor of Isabela push through with their overseas trips. And as for the latest casualty of Super Typhoon Uwan, according to the Office of Civil Defense, the death count regarding the Super Typhoon Uwan has reached 25 as of Tuesday night. OCD Deputy Administrator Assistant Secretary Bernardo Rafaelito Alejandro IV said the 19 of the 25 fatalities were from the Cordillera Administrative Region, or CAR. Also, 3 deaths were reported in Region 2, which is in Cagayan Valley, and 1 each in Regions 5 in Bicol Region, 6 in Western Visayas, and Region 8 in Eastern Visayas. And also on the assistance from the international community, the Philippines has begun receiving offers of humanitarian and disaster relief or relief aid from several countries in the wake of Super Typhoon Uwan's devastation. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said its allies like the United States, Japan, and India have already expressed their intent to extend assistance. Southeast Asian countries like Singapore and Timor-Leste have also reached out to the government. And speaking in Filipino, Undersecretary Castro said that countries mentioned have already reached out to the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Department of National Defense to coordinate assistance. The offers come as President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ordered round-the-clock relief and rehabilitation efforts for areas pummeled by Uwan, which displaced hundreds of thousands across Luzon. And Castro said the government's established coordination channels with foreign partners, including through defense and humanitarian agreements, help ensure faster deployment of aid. Castro added that enhanced defense cooperation agreement, or EDCA sites, continue to play a logistical role in domestic disaster response as it serves as hubs for relief goods, medical missions, and repacking operations. Also, The People's Republic of China will donate 141 million pesos in humanitarian aid to the Philippines over the devastation brought by Typhoon Tino and Super Typhoon Uwan. That's what the Chinese embassy here in Manila announced. The embassy said China has allocated $1 million or approximately 58 million pesos in cash aid and 10 million Chinese yuan renminbi, that's approximately 82.8 million pesos in kind to provide relief to the victims. In a statement, the embassy expressed deep condolences to the victims and sincere sympathies to the bereaved families, the injured, and the affected communities as it hopes that the Filipino people in the disaster-stricken areas will recover and rebuild their homes soon. In the aftermath of the typhoons, the embassy said relevant Chinese provinces, local Chinese communities, and Philippine-based Chinese businesses have extended immediate assistance to the affected communities. So more countries are now rushing to the Philippines to help our kababayans that were victims of this typhoon Uwan and Tino. And when we come back, we hope we will have the Department of Environment and Natural Resources here on the program Front and Center. We'll be right back here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Paano nga ba mag-register para magkaroon ng schedule sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center? Narito ang mga dapat gawin. Gamit ang iyong mobile device, pumunta sa eGovPH app. Pwede itong i-download mula sa Apple App Store o sa Google Play Store. Gumawa ng account. Ilagay ang email address, valid mobile number, pagkatapos ay makakatanggap ka ng one-time code sa iyong email. Gamitin ang code sa eGov app para sa verification ng iyong account at ng mga impormasyong ibinigay. Congratulations! Meron ka ng eGovPH app account. Pwede mo na ma-access ang iba't ibang serbisyo ng gobyerno kabilang ang mga serbisyo sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center.
Magandang araw, si Dingdong Dantes po ito. Tuwing tag-ulan, kalaban ng mga commuters ang baha. Hassle kasi papasok ka pa lang sa opisina, basang-basa ka na. At kung pauwi naman, hirap na nga pumara ng sasakyan minsan, stranded pa. Ano bang buhay to? Kaya naman, simple reminders lang mga kababayang commuters. Una, makibalita sa Pag-asa kung babahain ang lugar na dadaanan mo. Pwedeng sa TV, radyo o social media. Pangalawa, magbaon ng payong at kapote. Make sure din na fully charged ang phone mo para makapag-update ka kay crush kung nasaan ka na. And lastly, kung hindi naman mahalagang lakad o malapit sa bahaing lugar ang pupuntahan, stay at home na lang muna. Cuddle weather din naman kasi. Ha? Kaya ingat-ingat sa baha mga kababayan dahil #panatag ang mayalam.
Maging panatag Pilipinas.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Again, welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And as we try to get in touch with the DENR regarding the investigation on the real estate development that was affected by the Typhoon Tino in Cebu City, we will have this one on the environmental aspect following the strike or onslaught of the typhoons in Luzon, as President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. recognized the vital role of the Sierra Madre mountain range in shielding Luzon from powerful typhoons. That's what Malacanang said yesterday. In a press briefing, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro responded to calls from environmental groups urging stronger protection for the Sierra Madre and other mountain ranges following their role in mitigating the impact of Super Typhoon Uwan with the international name Fong Wong on Sunday. Speaking in Filipino, Yusek Castro said that the president has seen the great benefit brought by the Sierra Madre and that the mountain range in Luzon has long provided protection, and it greatly helped when Typhoon Uwan struck. And environmental advocates at the same time have long called the Sierra Madre the backbone of Luzon, noting that its vast forest cover serves as a natural barrier against typhoons coming from the Pacific Ocean. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said Sierra Madre weakened the Super Typhoon Uwan into a typhoon category. So that storm weakened as it hit that mountain range in northern Luzon, which is Sierra Madre. And that mountain range is stretching over 500 kilometers from Cagayan in the north to Quezon in the south. The Sierra Madre is the longest mountain range in the country. Sierra Madre plays a crucial role in regulating the country's climate and preventing floods and landslides, and serving as a habitat for hundreds of endemic plant and animal species. However, Sierra Madre is constantly facing environmental threats such as illegal logging, mining, and large-scale infrastructure development that could degrade the region's forests. And the government has implemented several initiatives to protect the mountain range, including the establishment of the Sierra Madre Natural Park and reforestation projects under the National Greening Program. Okay, and as of this moment, we don't have the DENR Region 7 or the Central Visayas to discuss about this issue of this real estate development that is being involved in the flood, in serious and severe flooding that took place in Cebu City. Particularly, this Department of Environment and Natural Resources has launched a full-blown investigation into the Monterrazas de Cebu development amid mounting environmental concerns and reports of flooding and soil movement in the area. DNR said a multi-stakeholder team of technical experts has been convened to conduct a joint inspection, investigation, and assessment of the project. And the Monterrazas de Cebu project, that's a large hillside development in Barangay Guadalupe in Cebu City, has drawn heavy public scrutiny after heavy rains caused by Typhoon Tino triggered flooding and visible soil movement in surrounding communities. And residents started questioning the severe flooding, linking it to the large-scale construction on the mountain slope. So the question is, what prompted the DNR to launch that investigation into to that real estate development there in Cebu City? And the question that I will be asking to DNR would be the members of that joint technical team, and what will be their what are their roles in this investigation, and at the same time, what are the environmental violations that this real estate developer has committed, because it is being blamed as a major cause of flooding in Cebu City. But unfortunately, we don't have the DNR on the line right now. Do we have the DNR on the line? Okay. All right. So that's okay. So we will try to reschedule the interview with DNR tomorrow regarding this. But in the meantime, we'll now conclude this broadcast, this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our technical team, headed by Ms. Susan Aison on our Warcast, Hiro Lucero and our audio streaming, Justine Osias, and our intern from Technological Institute of the Philippines, Will. And at the same time, we're now being joined by Steph Vicente. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.